Okay, so I have a little bit of news and updates. I posted on the community page of my YouTube channel, which I was just recently given the option to do one, I guess because my subscriber number has risen. And I thank you to all who have subscribed. I hope more viewers who haven't subscribed will subscribe. So on it, I've just been posting like kind of random stuff or stuff related to videos I have coming up, ideas for videos, and just, any announcements. The only real announcement I posted was the other day I posted basically that I would be doing a live stream event on Thanksgiving, and I'd be doing some movies, and it'd be kind of like my Dawn of the Dead Halloween one, except it would be a lot longer, but not continuous. So it'd probably be a few streams throughout the day. And then I made the event page on Facebook, shared it all over Facebook, and sent a lot of you guys messages, personal messages, and invitations and everything. And I think I shared the link on Twitter. So, but I didn't announce it here. I'm going to put the Facebook link in the community page after this. But I wanted to go and just make a video and just like tell you mano a mano what's going on, what it's about. It's easier to do that, really. And probably easier. Probably I make more sense doing that. So basically, I don't really observe Thanksgiving. I don't observe many traditional holidays. Very, very, very few. Halloween is one, of course. That one. I don't really observe it, and I'm alone. This is going to sound super like dramatic and, break out the violin and pity me. Woe is me. But seriously, when I say this, it is 100% the truth. I am alone in this world. The closest family members I have are first cousins that are dying off because my dad was a lot older than my mom. Second cousins that I really don't know at all. A few younger first cousins who live far away, and after my father passed away, well, they're on my mother's side. So as my mother passed away, that the last time I really saw them was at her funeral. When my dad passed away and I told them about it, that was pretty much closing that chapter of that book. And my dad's family was never in his life. I talked to a couple of them when my dad passed. One of them was one of the first cousins who's a lot older than me. There's another first cousin who's a lot older than me who is I'm ashamed to say, a reprobate and a criminal, just a foul human. But anyway, so I'm an only child. So my parents were both the black sheep / weirdos of their families. My mom had 3 siblings. My dad had 5, or 6. Yeah, 6. So, yeah, so that's it. I have a 4th cousin named, I'm not going to give his full name just to be respectful. I have a 4th cousin named Richard, and he has a brother named John. And John lives in this area. I went to elementary school with him. And even though I think we went all the way through high school together, he stopped talking to me after elementary school. No hard feelings. Friends with him on Facebook, but have never interacted. He's friends of a good friend of mine. His older brother, Richard, I met over the years. I didn't know he was my 4th cousin. He is a genealogy buff like myself, and he invited me to have a permanent presence on Ancestry.com for free. And so I've contributed to our shared family tree, which he has an enormous one. My branch is just kind of an off branch, but so I made a Flickr Street tree there. It's not public. I've only been able to invite one person, Sean Lee Levin, my dear friend, and there's also a genealogy kind of savant and like myself, and I keep adding to it and doing things. I've screenshot a few of the pages of the family trees from Flickr Street and put them on the Facebook Flickr Street pages. I haven't had much luck in making images for my website of them, my Flickr Street website, because my screenshot is dead on my computer. My computer suffered some damage. I still have a webcam. So in any case, I spend Thanksgiving alone. I can't remember how many years it's been since anyone even invited me to spend it with them. So now, of course, I was married for 7 years. So we spent Thanksgivings together for 5 years of those 7 years that we lived together. 5 years of those 7 years, we didn't celebrate Thanksgiving either. Um, but we did eat together, watch movies, played with the cats. But years ago, when I was living at my the old house, I call it, capital O, capital H, it's like a Lovecraftian thing. I had moved in a year or two prior to help my dad, and I was in debt. I really was broke. Me and my dad had not gotten along the whole time I was growing up. After I moved out, I vowed to never speak to my parents again, and for a while I upheld it. And then I caved, and I kind of took advantage of them to like do laundry and things like that I needed. They didn't give me money. They didn't have money. I didn't ask them for money. I just asked them for favors or help sometimes. Um, but gradually, we started building kind of a conciliatory relationship toward the end of this previous century. And unfortunately, shortly after that began, my mother was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So she had it for 10 years. She passed away in December of 2009. My father, who was quite a lot older than my mom, like I said, he was in better health, but he passed away in 2013. And then my wife left me in 2015. So when my divorce was finalized in March of 2017, that was it. I had no family remaining. Richard, my fourth cousin, is the closest. We did hang out a little during that period, but he moved to Greensboro. There's occasional. We occasionally look at each other's things on Facebook, but we have not interacted. I don't think there's any enmity between us. But I was hoping that would be a kind of a family connection, but it's turned out really not to be. But I'm in his debt for setting me up on Ancestry.com and helping me create my own genealogies online. I mean, on the computer, since I can't really share them online. But one year, 2002, my mom had been in a rehab unit when she progressed very quickly, or I should say, her disease progressed quickly and she degenerated somewhat quickly. And went through kind of a bad period, really bad period. After she was kind of started improving, she was allowed to come home. My dad had incredible insurance. He had worked for the city of Charlotte for 35 years. He had a huge pension, and he was able to, buy all this medical equipment and buy a hospital bed that could be in the bedroom next to his regular bed, which used to be their bed. Though they didn't really sleep together much in it, to be honest. Sorry, I don't mean to speak ill of the dead or speak out of turn, but that it is what it is, right? It's part of part of what made me a neurotic weirdo. So, my mom started getting better. Her mental acuity improved a lot. She could walk, but she had trouble. She had trouble doing certain things, and she had no control over going to the bathroom. That was one thing. But she watched some TV. But there was a period where we kind of bonded, and it was a pretty sweet period. And I had just gotten a job at Borders a few months earlier, and I started, ravenously collecting DVDs there. So I bought Robert Altman's Nashville, and I had never seen it all the way through. I don't believe. I may have borrowed it from a friend, Mike. Yeah, I'd seen it once all the way through, and it was on VHS. So I watched it, and I was just enthralled, by it. And I decided to rewatch it, several days later, and that ended up being Thanksgiving. And we really weren't going to celebrate it. I mean, we were all there, the family was there, and my cat Genesis, but that was, I don't know. It was just, again, we're a family of weirdos and loners. That's just the way it is, very untraditional. And my parents had no use for that stuff. They were people who were hurting a lot and who really, my dad wanted nothing to do with humanity whatsoever. And my mom did, but continually was hurt because of her sensitivity. I guess I've been weird combinations of the two somehow. But I've tried to advance, progress, evolve, and I have a lot tremendously. Contrary to claims made by my ex fiance and intimations, I have evolved and I have transcended while also incorporating those things, taking the good from them and trying to diminish the negative energy as much as possible. So I don't let other people, even her, define me anymore. I define myself. So anyway, that Thanksgiving, uh, I had bought a few things, and my parents had stockpile of food. They had tons of stuff. So I opened a can of cranberry sauce. I sliced the cranberries. I cooked stuffing, and I cooked mashed potatoes. I'm a vegetarian. So I served some to my dad, and he loved it. My mom was she couldn't really do the stuffing too well. She was already starting to have problems with her swallowing due to the illness. Um, but she could have the mashed potatoes, and she could have the cranberry sauce, and I fed her. I fed her a lot in those days. Her hands started to kind of lock up. It was difficult for her to really hold things much for very long. She didn't really have this kind of grasp anymore. She had kind of this kind of grasp. But anyway, uh, I lived downstairs in the basement, in my parents' basement, in my early 30s. Yes, yes, yes. Typical. I'm a total Gen X slacker dude. So, but I had been on my own for 10 years. But, just like I said, it's hard to survive. And my parents did need me. And we were getting along better. During this period, me and my father got along for the first time in our lives. And he was doing a lot for my mother. He was very old and he was helping her because our nurses that worked in home were really kind of horrible. Um, but in any case, so I lived downstairs, so I was watching Nashville on this 32-inch TV that I'd gotten. Oh, I think this December before that, I'd finally been like, I'm getting a HD TV, damn it. So I got a 32-inch, and no, I'm sorry, I got a 26-inch. So that was a big thing for me, right? A couple of years later, my dad got a 32-inch for himself for the living room. Exact same kind of television. I forgot the brand. Anyway, and currently that 32-inch, I sold this like 26-inch to someone who was staying with my wife and I for a while, a friend named Angie, and but I have the 32-inch. My dad's 32-inch is upstairs in my bedroom, and I have a 55-inch HD TV that's beautiful. I don't have any immediate plans to upgrade. I have some friends who are getting ready to go 4K TV, and that's awesome. That's not a plan of mine. It's not a priority of mine. Um, it's a great TV. It's what I watched Dawn of the Dead on, and took those pictures, which I put on the community page here on YouTube, and I also put on Facebook. In any case, so I was watching this downstairs on a 26-inch um, flat screen HD TV, and yes, that still is a big deal to me now. Even though the technology is way advanced. I mean, I worked in electronics, helping out the electronics part of Target on and off for 3 years. So I get it. I know it's out there. I know how much the prices have dropped. So, one day. But anyway, I'd like to go 72-inch next. 4K, I guess. Maybe Roku. I don't know. I can't imagine having that much money at one time anymore. I have some severe financial problems, which I've had all year, and it's been very difficult. It looks like they're going to follow me into the coming year. So that's why, if you want to be a patron to the channel or help me out, PayPal me at leo.rosegrave@gmail.com. Money, if you wanted to help me, support me that way. You don't have to. But anyway, if you want to purchase review materials for the channel, if it's something you want to see me talk about, you let me know. Provide me with it, and we're good. If it's something you want to help me with, help me obtain, I now have a BLU review kind of wish list on Amazon. So, you can share it mano a mano so I could message it to you. Anyway, enough ads about me. So, on this TV, I watched Nashville. But I would pause it every so often to go feed my parents. So I fed my mom, and my dad fed himself, but I gave him the stuffing. I gave him the plate. So he didn't go, where's the meat, damn it? He kind of had that kind of grizzly persona. Not grizzly like disgusting with an S, but grizzly like with a Z. The bear, it's about to rip your face off with his jaws. And I don't know, it was a good day. It was the first time I'd celebrated Thanksgiving in a few years. And a few years. I think the last time before that was 1997. And that was the last time I ever ate turkey. I was on my way to being a vegetarian then. And that was my parents. So then 98, 99, 2000, 2001, I didn't celebrate Thanksgiving or observe it. So, and no one I knew who, I hate to say this, it makes my friends sound terrible and me sound pitiful, but no one invited me that I can remember. There may have been one or two. My friends were getting married, having children of their own, and I was kind of the perennial fifth wheel. So this was long before I was married. So I lived in my parents' basement. Come on, man. But that day I celebrated Thanksgiving more or less, and that's the last time I formally have in a meaningful fashion as far as being with family, eating, cooking with family, and feeling thankful because I was glad that me and my dad were getting along. I was glad I had somewhere to live. I would have been homeless without my dad. And I was glad my mom was home, even though it was a struggle for us. I was glad we were having some time together before, her sanity started to slip over the next few years, and it was rough. So she became a different person, really. It's if you've experienced any of this, I don't mean like I'm talking to you and you have Alzheimer's, but if you've been in this position where you know people who've had things like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or degenerative, dementia, whatever, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, and I empathize with you. I've been there. I don't talk about my parents and all this kind of stuff very much, and it's really big, giant, major things that happen in a person's life. And I just kind of went with it. I stayed relatively stoic, calm. I didn't freak out. I didn't have anxiety attacks. Of course, I was just getting on anti-anxiety medicine during that period, so that probably helped. So what I decided was that my Thanksgiving tradition would be to watch Nashville every Thanksgiving. So much later, and I did every year. So much later, I think around 2013, 2012, I can't remember if it was before my dad passed and I inherited some money from him, or it was just an expenditure I made, but I was kind of wary about getting into Blu-ray collecting. I was weird about it. I wasn't going to do it at all at first. Now I don't collect any. I won't buy a DVD. Absolutely do not do it. I watch some DVDs I still have, but to me it's just like that's it. I've stopped. My cat is having an enormously fun time with some wires. I'm glad. He needs some fun. Hey, buddy. He looked right up at me, right at me. Mwah. So, can you see him? Probably not. Anyway, that year I bought Nashville on. It had come out on Criterion on Blu-ray, and this was a period when they were trying to do that segue thing where they have the DVD and the Blu-ray. You know, like for the people who don't want to go Blu-ray yet, maybe kind of like bi-curious people, you know, like Blu-ray curious, like Blue curious. That's what I'll call it, Blue curious, BLU curious. So the Blue curious people, they're like, yeah, I'll buy this great DVD collection. It has a Blu-ray in it as an extra. I'm never going to watch it, but that's the only way I can get it, you know. And the price really isn't any different. So, all right, Criterion, cool. And then I think Criterion's thinking, and a lot of other companies did this too, but I think Criterion's thinking, okay, so yeah, then they'll be Blue curious, and they'll eventually get a player, and then they'll be able to play the Blu-ray. And if they won't, they'll still be able to play the DVD on the Blu-ray, and then they'll be fully converted. So some companies and some huge studios kept that mentality going. Some still do this. I don't know why. Some will give you the 4K UHD disc and a Blu-ray and a DVD and digital copy. And, you know, these fucking things cost like $40, you know, and up. And I'm like, fuck that. I just want the Blu-ray. You know, I just give a friend a DVD. I mean, you know, what the hell? So I remember when I got Logan, uh, I had a friend Marksman, and he couldn't burn Blu-rays. He could only burn DVDs. He could watch Blu-rays. He didn't have a way to burn them, and so I let him borrow the DVD because he couldn't burn the Blu-ray of Logan, and he burned it. So, and he liked the movie, and he wasn't a superhero movie aficionado, but he did love action and violence, so, and some science fiction. That's the Marksman, man. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, Marksman. So, anyway, uh, well, one year Marksman did invite me to Thanksgiving, kind of informally, but I didn't go, and I don't think his wife wanted me to go either anyway. So, uh, so I bought that, the Nashville, for the Blue Curious edition. I have a few editions like that. I got Ace in the Hole, which I've reviewed in this channel, edition like that. And they usually had cardboard kind of sleeve, a little different than their normal. I also have the Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion edition like that in Nashville, and that's it. And I think I have a couple that have the more traditional plastic that also have a DVD in them, but I could be wrong. I want to say my copy of All That Heaven Allows is like that, but maybe it just has two Blu-rays. I'm not sure. Anyway, but that particular little line they were doing for a while, and that's the only way you could get Nashville and Blu-ray. So I got it, boom, and loved it. Watched it on Thanksgiving every year subsequent. So last year I reviewed it on Thanksgiving. I did a Thanksgiving special on my channel. I didn't do one in 2020. I just started my channel, and I was having some massive nervous breakdown around Thanksgiving at that time. Last year I was having a horrible breakup of a near relationship with the incredible, legendary Admeliora, who I've just waxed on this channel, done a few videos on her. Very important person in my life for a very brief time. So I was getting more. I was getting last. I think 2 Thanksgivings ago. Basically, what I'm saying is I was too depressed to do a video on Thanksgiving. Get my head together. And I did do a few videos on my depression, some of which are so embarrassing I took them down. But I'm you know, I'm raw, I'm real, I'm authentic. I left most of them up. I don't know if I should rewatch. I'll wince and take them down. Thank you for bearing with me during that period. But last year I did, you know, I reviewed Thanksgiving. I reviewed Nashville for Thanksgiving, and that was my Thanksgiving special for Blue Review. So this year, you know, I didn't want to do that again, but in a way, I am going to do it again. So here's basically what I'm doing, and then hopefully I'll wrap this up. I'm going to do. Last year, I decided I added Magnolia as my double feature, and it just made sense because obviously Magnolia is a movie that's heavily influenced by the movie Nashville. So no, not its subject matter exactly, but you know, it's its structure, its composition, the way it's shot, the way the characters interlock. It's a very Altman-esque film, as is Boogie Nights. And so this year I decided, hey, I've never reviewed that. I have Magnolia on Blu-ray. I've never reviewed Magnolia. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a double feature, but I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to give everybody a chance to join in and share with me. So I'll probably be doing a lot of talking. So I'm going to have a few different live streams. I'm not sure how I'll break them up as far as at the end of the day being Blue Review episodes and numbering them. Not sure yet. But that'll be after the fact. So just as with Dawn of the Dead, I did like a 3-hour and 20-minute Dawn of the Dead when I watched the extended cut and talked about it. I had a little prelude where Sean and I chatted. Then we started doing the Dawn of the Dead together. Then he had to go to bed. My friend Rhett joined in too, Rhett Thompson, and I'm hoping he will this time around too. And that's kind of it. But I started watching the Dawn of the Dead, the Argento cut, the Italian cut, Zombie, ZOMBI. And then I was like getting tired, and I was like, oh, I've covered it. It's cool. So that was that. So as far as attendance, not much. There wasn't much there. But I watched some of it back, and I think I did some good coverage. I don't know if Tim Lucas would be proud of me or not. But of course he influenced me as far as doing this kind of running audio commentary. I wanted to come across more like Tim Lucas than like say Mike Nelson. So, and Sean will get that one, of course. Some other people might too. So, though sometimes it's tempting to act that way with some of the scenes you're watching. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. So originally I was going to start after midnight, just jump right into it as soon as it became the 24th. Not going to do that. I do have night owl friends, so I thought maybe I'll do that, but I'm like, nah. Okay, so I'm going to start Thanksgiving morning. Not sure when. It could be 9 a.m., it could be 11 a.m. Well before noon. And I'm going to start and probably going to watch Nashville first. Then probably immediately after, depending on my creature needs and like food and stuff, which I am going to cook myself a Thanksgiving dinner as part of this ritual also. This is like a ritual, I'll say. More on that later during the event. I'll talk about all that. So then Magnolia. So a 2-hour and 45, 50-minute movie, and then, switching them out, 3 minutes, chilling out, intermission, but I'm still going to be on camera. Then Magnolia. So 3-hour movie, solid 3-hour movie. So then I'm probably going to go offline, for a little bit, start another stream in the afternoon, probably late afternoon, and I'm going to play a different movie, and I'm going to talk about it. A little over 2-hour movie. It's going to be a surprise. So I'm probably going to movies on like all day at my house, and but I'm going to try to do the live stream on camera. And I've noticed there are people who do this, who keep their live stream all day on the camera, and then they go to sleep. And they put like their status, I'm asleep, and you look at their room. I've seen a bunch of this on dating sites, embarrassingly. It's weird. It's like, I want to talk to these people. I might want to date them, but then they're just on there all the time. I mean, it's like TikTok, but it's the elongated TikTok, whatever that would be called. TikTok, I guess, is the short takes. I am thinking about getting on TikTok and doing short political, like radical political things. It might be better. Actually, was suggested to me a long time ago by a peer support counselor named Alyssa Carter, and I was like, she was like, I don't know, you can put these ideas out there. And I'm thinking nobody wants to look at that TikTok, but then I've noticed some people do that on TikTok. I'm not going on Twitch. Anyway, so surprise movie. And then, probably had lunch. So I'm going to have dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, evening dinner. I'm probably going to get the itis. I eat so much. Look that up in the Urban Dictionary. And people that are known to be getting that a lot on Thanksgiving. And we'll watch Nashville. And then in the late evening, we're going to go for Magnolia. So that'll probably go over midnight, but maybe not much. I don't know when I'll start Magnolia. But I hope to be wrapped up completely by 2 a.m. into the next day, maybe by midnight. So that's what's going on. That's why it's like a 24-hour event. So even though I'm not going to start it until 9 or 10 hours into Thanksgiving, because everybody's, including me, will be sleeping. I have some friends who are in different time zones, so I'm hoping they'll join me. I'm hoping Nicola Nazareno, my dear friend in the Philippines, and Bataan will join me. Her time schedule's a little weird and different, but I'm going to be going so long, just in time. I really like her to be part of this, and of course, my friend Sean Lee Levin, in between his family celebrations, are going to be part of this, as well as my friend Tim Talbert. And I've invited some other people who have expressed interest and may make guest appearances and chats. I'm hoping my friend Shelley Druckreyer will be part of it. Basically, patrons of this channel. I'm going to touch base and see if Mick Cantone will contribute. And if anyone who contributes is welcome to call in. I'll have my cell phone right here, so you'll be on camera. Like this is like my radio show. This is all an experiment. I don't expect it to be a successful experiment, but I want to do it because it's a direction I'm interested in going in. I may fail at it. I have a lot of drawings. I just want to share this. I have a lot of drawings I've been wanting to do. I've shown you guys, self-indulgent, but hey, it's my channel. I flipped right to this picture. I've never shown this on camera. So this is my original picture of my character, Frankie Lynn Tudrow, who, you may have known my icon, including the eyes on this channel, are of that character, Frankie Lynn Tudrow, and it's in green. Because when I sweetened this in the computer and did a little final whatever before I finished it. That's what I do. I apply a monochromatic. These are a series of Flickr Street characters. Right now, the series is called the Ellinger Arc, and I've done about 24 characters. It's taken me 5 years to do 24 characters. I'm very slow. And of course, I have really bad carpal tunnel. So I love this picture. So this is really my Flickr Street muse. And I will be honest, this picture is a composite. My reference for this picture is a composite of several different pictures of a young lady that I was very deeply in love with, in a relationship with for a brief time. It looks really good on this camera, the light. Anyway, that's Frankie Lynn. So I have 10 characters that I'm itching to draw, just exploding with ideas. And when I do that, I do biographies that accompany them, and they're going to all end up on my website. I've started putting the Ellinger art portraits on my website, but I've gotten behind, and I need to pick that back up. I'm so overwhelmed with work. My eBay, I haven't really worked on much because I've been discouraged because it's kind of dead. So you won't get energy back unless you put energy in. This is something I used to talk to Kelly about, and it's a true maxim. When I do more work on eBay, eventually I make sales. So I feel like Flickr Street I need to put some stuff into, and I'll get attention. But more people will be interested in it. That's what I'm doing with this channel. I'm putting most of my creative energy that goes out to you nice people, you humans, via the interwebs. I'm putting it into this channel, and I am getting it back, and I really appreciate all the help and the views, the likes, and the comments. Not too many comments on the videos, a few, I appreciate it, but in private messages I get some wonderful comments. So I'm going to do this experimental thing on Thanksgiving. It's just going to be my way of celebrating Thanksgiving. It's going to be my Thanksgiving ritual, and because this is the medium that I have right now. And right now I can't do those 10 pictures that I projected. My carpal tunnel's acting up again. It's not nearly as bad as it was a few months ago, you guys remember. And actually, it was bad the year before that, and that's one reason I started this channel. I mean, I had the channel, but I mean, why I started doing these videos was because I couldn't draw and write very much. This was a way to do it. So some of my close friends and confidants know that I send them voice clips more than I type them now. So anything that'll save that agonizing pain, I'm on some great nerve pain medicine, and also helps affect my mood. So in tandem with my other medications, I'm very hyper, almost manic, but not in a bad way during the day, and that's good because work goes by quickly. I have a lot of energy. I'm very alert. I'm hyper right now, and I have started drinking some caffeine again, not as like a conscious thing, but something I fell into to help me get through work. And combination of all this stuff, my brain's exploding, but it's just where's the time, you know? And then when I crash, So that's why another reason these videos are so spread out. I've had I have had 5 different videos I've wanted to start in the last few days. I got caught up somewhat the other day. I did 3 videos in 2 days. I was very happy. And more people are watching them because I went through a big decline. I'm not sure why. But this is all stuff to be expanded on at a different time. Maybe during my live streams. I don't know. In between me saying, hey, there's John C. Riley. Now you guys know about him, that kind of stuff. Kind of Tim Lucas energy. I wonder how Tim's doing. He's now whatever. It's sad. I'm sorry, Tim. And sorry for your loss of your wife, Donna. Damn, it's kind of staggering. 3 people that I had kind of a is strong the right word. 3 people that I had an unusual connection to, as in either deeper or stranger or more important connection with, have died in the last year. I did my eulogy for my lifelong, practically, friend, Reggie Dennis. We became friends in 1989, and he passed, I guess, last year. And I did a video about him. It's on this channel. A young lady that I was getting involved with around the time that I made the video, or I felt demoralized and upset. I think the video is called How It Is and How It's Been, or whatever. That was kind of the turning point of my channel. Some people unsubscribed. My views went down. I described what I describe as a verbal assault by this cat Charles that I've known for many years. I'm just going to call it that. And some of you watching know who he is. And it happened in the same week I had some issues with someone I knew at work. That resolved itself, thank goodness. But then I was also getting involved with and interested in dating this young lady I met on Facebook. I'd known her a while, an artist. And I don't know, she kind of drifted away from me. She was having some deep personal problems. I'm going to say her name because I'm not going to reveal anything about her personal problems that I know, because I really don't know that much. I'm not going to go into anything of me and her and our sort of kind of theoretical romance that was blooming and then kind of stopped. But her name's Damie Lee. I don't know her real legal name. Dame is her real legal first name, I'm pretty sure. And Lee is her middle name. So I don't know what her last name is. But she died very recently. And it's very weird and mysterious and sad. And we won't get another person that died. They wasn't as jarring to me as Reggie and Damie, but it was kind of like, damn, what the fuck. And a dear friend of mine, I won't mention, I talk about him a lot on this channel. He suffered several personal losses recently too, a profound one in particular. Mortality is catching up with us. It's a strange time to be alive. Anyway, I'll wax philosophical another time. I do plan on getting back to those kind of videos. I want to construct a show along those lines. I don't know. Blue review is difficult to do in the sense that I want it to be good. So sometimes it takes me a while to get my shit together and do a video where I have the energy, have the facts and information, have immersed myself in the topic, and I can just go and do it. And that's one reason I like these streaming videos where I just watch something and do a hot take. Those are easy to do, and they're fun to do. And I've got some coming up. Don't worry. But it does take a lot of energy, and I've been sitting on a planned video here for a couple months at least now, for a good friend, and it's a review of his album. And he's probably, if you're watching, he knows he knows who he is. I hope he knows who he is. Identity is important. I am going to do your video. I am going to do the video. I've immersed myself in the music. I've gotten the facts from him to flesh out the video. I fear the video will not be as earth-shattering as maybe he would like it to be. And I apologize in advance if it's not. But the big thing about me doing this, and I've said this many times, is authenticity, and that applies to my creative endeavors. It applies to the way I interact with humans one-on-one, whether it's my customers or coworkers at my day job, or my customers on eBay, or my dear friends, or past, acquaintances, or if it's regarding politics and the activist part of me. So, truth is what and truth is hard. There's a lot of harsh, naked truths about myself that I've had to face in the last few years, and especially the last couple. And like I said, I've evolved a lot, and I'm pretty happy with a lot of my evolution. But I also devolved a lot after that incident that I talk about all the time 3 years ago, and I backslid, and I was almost consumed, by darkness again. I thought I'd put it all past me, but I had not yet met a soulmate that of such intensity, and shared a life with them, and had it cut short in such a strange, inscrutable fashion. So you see, it's still a powerful thing in my mind, but I'm over it in the ways that I need to be over it to function, to move forward, date other people, etc. Create and use my experiences with that person cathartically through my work. So you can check out my video called Annexia Incarnata, a Flicker Street Tale, and you'll learn a lot about how I did that and what came of it. So I want you to come on Thursday. I want you to tune in to my live stream. I'll be bugging the hell out of you people with links. And I'm sorry, I know you guys all have, well, most of you have families or places to go or things to do, and they're going to consume your day. And more power to you. I just I don't observe this holiday. This is my ritual. The movies, the two movies have been my ritual. And this year, and in 2002, it was one movie and a meal I cooked. This year, it's going to be a couple meals I cook and 3 movies. And hopefully interaction with some of you guys some of you may be lonely too. Some of you may be lonely even with family with you. So anyway, that's what's going on tomorrow. I'm going to the 23rd, which is nigh, even as I film this. But tomorrow evening, after maybe a little before I go to work in the morning, but when I get home in the evening, I will post everywhere I've posted all the stuff online. I'll post more approximations of the times of each movie and codify some of the information I've shared with you. you know, in where people can read it, and you know, I can share it all the way up to the event itself. So thanks for listening, and I look forward to the event. Even if it's a resounding failure, I think I'll have fun just running my mouth for hours talking about movies I love and things I love and people I love. And you guys are among those. So take care.